So this week we're thinking about mobile and mobile phones, and I guess how it pertains to Drupal. And it really got me to thinking about probably more how I use my phone for live streaming, what sites I go to, how regular I go there, different apps that I use now on my phone, and how much more it's become more of a, I guess a small computer in senses because of all the functionality and things that it does, instead of just being, your phone. I mean, that's kind of an ancillary task. In fact, I rarely answer the phone part of it. I use it for so much more. So most of the time I'm screening my calls outside of my wife and maybe a few select people that I know that are in my phone book that I'm going to talk to. Generally, my phone is just a screening service. But I use it, all the time for different applications, Facebook, Twitter, any of those where I want to kind of stay in touch with people. And so when we were talking about Drupal specifically and how that evolves into mobile and really kind of designing for mobile, and what I'm seeing more of and what I found is there are other browsers out there where we really don't have to focus so much on the mobile aspect of it. The iPhone really made it to where you could look at a regular website and still get the traditional style feel. And Skyfire makes an app for, a browser for Windows Mobile where the mobile part of it is not necessarily as important. I mean, you get the zoom capabilities. You can go around the page with a touch screen. So really, there's no, over time, having to create this whole separate site from a mobile perspective is not necessarily as important as it was, 3 or 4 years ago. And what I think is interesting is that things that you still have to consider, though, however, is going to be load times and those sort of things. But some of these phones, on these better networks are going to get better download speeds than landlines, so you don't really have to worry about that as well. So personally, from my experience, what I'm seeing is that it's really, you don't have to spend as much time thinking about how to design for mobile and setting up all these features and determining which browser and who's on mobile. Just do good design. No matter whether it's Drupal, WordPress, who cares what you're using, just a regular website. If you design it well, then the newer browsers are going to be able to view it and support it. So it's kind of like the Internet Explorer 6 conundrum, where people still want us to design for that, but less and less people are using it. So from our perspective, and it's a harder browser to design for because it's not as competent as some of the newer versions, then you're really just wasting your time and money. I guess that would be kind of my take is, moving forward, look at the fact that now you can put a browser, you can put a design together, and if it's done properly, it's going to work across all browsers.